We've had some people come on here trying to sell some tools to take apart clutches, and they make it sound like it's the worst thing in the world. It's so hard to do and so complicated. And their tool is, you know, this miracle tool. You have to have it. Well, that's really not the truth. Anybody with pretty basic tools can do this. I use an oil filter wrench. Nothing fancy there. And a vise to take it apart. So I'll show you how that's done. Okay, we're going to start by taking our oil filter wrench and putting it around the clutch shoes. And then you're going to put this in the vise. Just make sure you get the flat parts of your nut against the flat parts of the vise. Hold a little pressure on it and clamp it down. Get it pretty snug. Okay. Then you're just going to put some pressure on this and start loosening the nut. Hold your hand on top of the clutch assembly because you don't want that spring just flying out. Eventually you will start to feel it get loose most of the time. If you can feel it get loose enough to turn by hand, which it should be doing here soon, then I'll usually take both hands and put on top and turn it this way. This gives you a little more pressure to hold down on the clutch, control it a little better when it comes off. And it's just popping off, no big deal. So, there's the pieces of your clutch. Nut's still in the vise, just got to take that out. Pretty easy. Alright, you can see the shaft here on the rear pulley has two flat sides, and your clutch has the same setup. So, when you're putting it back together, you got to make sure to get that lined up. Of course, I don't have any of the parts in there, I'm just showing you this while I got a better view. You've got the rear pulley sitting on the floor. Take your mainspring, put it in the groove, put your clutch assembly on here, make sure the spring's sitting in the groove in there, and line up the hole that I showed you earlier with the shaft. Once you've got that lined up, take both feet, put down over it, put a little pressure on it, screw the nut in. You still got one hand free to do whatever else you want to do. Okay, so bring your clutch back over to your vise. Put the oil filter wrench around the clutch shoes again. Make sure you're facing the opposite way so you're tightening, not loosening this time. And put it back in your vise just like you did before. Alright, then you just start tightening the clutch up. Get it pretty snug. Take it back out of your vise. Always be careful when you're taking it out. Make sure nothing's stripped off and gonna fly out at you. Take your wrench off. There you go, it's all back together.